messing around. Oh, wow.
Meow.
Hey, that's a nice shirt.
Thank you. I've been rocking this shirt, this Team Bishop Goldberg shirt that we
Have you
sell
cleaned
at
it?
themessaroundpod.com.
Have you washed it?
I have. I was just saying this when I did the loft meeting. I was like, this shirt holds up very well. I wear it all the time and I wash it and it kind of gets even cozier. And I get stopped now all the time, which is really nice. People are like, where's that shirt from? And I'm like, let me tell you.
Very, very nice.
How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing all right. Running around like crazy. I'm thinking about moving. And I think I am going to move. I'm leaving Los Angeles after 17 years.
Wow.
17 years. Leaving Los Angeles, and it's going to be weird.
Yeah. I feel like you're the 10th person I've spoken to in the past month that is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's moving out.
Moving from Los Angeles to Woodland Hills. And
I feel like I'm going to Calabasas.
It's going
I'm
to
throwing
be
a goodbye party.
Nuts.
See you never.
No, I'm going to move to good old Austin.
Man, I was
Texas.
just in Austin. I'm a big fan of Austin.
Yeah, we'll see. My daughter was born
weird.
there, and we're gonna figure it out. But we're still gonna bring you the same stuff, the same content, folks. Even though I'm leaving physically, emotionally, spiritually, virtually, I'll be here with you and inside of all of you.
It's true. Actually, I don't know if people listening to this podcast know this, but we have done the podcast from Greece.
Mm-hmm.
From Canada, from here in LA. This is about to be in Texas. We do wherever we are.
That's
what's so great about a podcast.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's the point, right?
You can always chit chat from all over the world. I want to do a podcast where we should just invite a different guest from a different country and just have an hour-long conversation with a stranger. You never know what you're gonna get.
That's true.
They might not speak English. You might not speak the same. You might not speak whatever
That's
they
a fun
speak.
idea for a podcast.
Yeah.
Person on the street.
Yeah. Just pick a person and then talk.
I'm into it.
Sweet.
I feel like it's, what we should call it? Like, when you're like on a plane and you just get sat next to someone. The title is somewhere in there.
I don't think do you know what that is? Because I know you and Zoe both fly private, so you kind of know who you're sitting next to.
I will say the first time I ever did fly private was with Zoe and was part of this show when was the World Series private flight before the one where we went and did the sail to Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. I got to say, I'm very scared of flying. I fly all the time, but I'm very scared of flying. And everyone was like, flying private, so cool. And I was like, even more terrified.
Yeah. Especially now.
Yeah. What's going on? Anyways, you're going to walk to Texas. This is cool. We're figuring out your travel plans.
No, I'm going to take a tour bus. Actually, this is a real thing. If there is a company out there that would love to give me a tour bus to take to Texas, I want to do a road trip.
That's the way to do it. I've done that before.
To Texas?
I rented a massive RV.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we hit Texas on it and we did like a big road trip and it was so fun, so great.
Oh yeah.
It's the vibe. It's great. And you're going to do it with your daughter. She'll have so much fun too. It's like a little moving house. The best.
Yeah.
Somebody hook Lamorne up.
Yeah. Lily's going to drive.
And the route.
Yeah, it's a Tesla. It drives itself.
This episode that we're going to recap today, Sister Act 3. I can't not say Sister Act. It's like not in my blood.
I know. Whoopi's going to be mad though.
Man, I didn't remember how funny. And Camilla Blackett wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Jay Chandrasekhar directed it.
Yes. Oh. And I'll say this before we dive in. I remember how cool it felt for me to see this South Asian director come into the space. Representation matters, y'all.
I just remember seeing him from all the Broken Lizard stuff that he would do.
He's an icon.
His movies and then watching, having him come on set, I was like, holy shit. What the fuck? He's directing. Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, that was a surreal moment where it was like that also, I'll say, early on in the show. I don't know if you felt like this because we had a lot of big directors, film directors come and direct episodes. But I think because of the Zoe and Jake Kasdan and Liz Merriweather, personal relationships.
Lamorne Morris thing, yeah.
Yeah. But I remember it. did feel like, okay, here we are doing our job, but also like low-key, like kind of auditioning for you guys for your movies.
Yeah. Have you worked with any of the directors since?
No, I guess it didn't go well. No.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if anyone's ever cast me in anything.
No.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think any of the other directors have reached out and said, hey, let me put you in this other thing.
So all those directors of New Girl, who we love so much, we're here. Actually, that's not true. One has.
Who?
No, 2 for you and 1 for me.
2 for me? Oh, Trent doesn't count. Trent doesn't count because
I
Trent.
like how we love Trent so much that we're like, no, even though you put it in legit shows, no.
Yeah, Trent doesn't count because Trent is like, he's beyond it.
That's true.
He
It's
is
just
bigger
full
than
family.
he is bigger.
Trent O'Donnell.
He's a part of the show.
I just sold a show with him. You know that, right? Trent and I did a show together. We just sold it. We're working on it. And Malmuth is writing. One of the best New Girl writers ever.
Yep.
Jake Kasdan put you in Jumanji.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Well,
Jumanji?
Jake doesn't count. These aren't guest directors.
That's true. Not part of New Girl family. I guess outside of New Girl family directors, no one has put us in anything. But we're here.
Yeah. Max Winkler, what the F?
Hey, Max.
Jay,
True.
what the F?
Yeah.
All these people. Reginald Hudlin directed an episode. Which episode did he direct?
You got to keep your Emmy in the video now. You got to sit there and start flexing on these people. Let them know.
Hannah, Variety posted this thing. Their top 100.
I saw this.
The top 100 television performances characters of all time, or for the past century, and I was on that list, number 82. But I don't get the respect.
Did the phone ring once?
Not once. Nobody congratulated me. And that's okay. You know what I mean? I'll just take my ball and go home. But Hannah, I got you. Hannah, we got each other. And that's all that matters. And more importantly, we got the fans, the New Girl fans. They're the ones who constantly remind us that we're doing the right thing. We're on the right path.
That's true.
That's right.
We appreciate it.
So let's dive into this episode.
Let's go.
Okay, Schmidt and Abby, well, they move in together, and they can't help but publicly display their affection with some inappropriate licking. She literally licked this man's face, which is gross. Now, this causes Cece to investigate what Abby is really doing when designing jewelry. It's really shitty jewelry. And Jess becomes insecure about what phase she and Nick are at. Brilliantly, Jess convinces Nick to move in with her. The couple quickly begins to drive each other insane in the confined space. Unable to communicate their discomfort, the animosity grows until Jess is compelled to lie about a field trip so she can spend the night at a hotel. Cece discovers Abby has no ulterior motives. She just makes really bad jewelry. Coach encourages her to confront her feelings for Schmidt. Winston reveals Jess's hotel escape. Nick and Jess decide to return to their original accommodations. But when Abby decides to be independent, Schmidt moves back into the loft and into Jess's room. Dun, dun, dun. We'll be back. And we are back. Again, Camilla Blackett wrote this episode. Jay Chandrasekhar directed it. What a dynamic duo. I had a lot of fun recording this one. I didn't once I started watching it, seeing some of the antics and bits, then it started popping in my head. I started remembering it. And more than anything, I remember Abby sitting on Schmidt's lap and licking his face. I remember that part. And it was I don't know why I remember that. I just thought it was weird.
A lick is such an aggressive choice. They could have just made out for some reason, doing a stage kiss. It feels way less intimate than a lick. Also, you have to understand, there's makeup on people. And that's what I kept thinking about. He's got makeup and powder on him. And it's ugh. And then you have to keep doing it for every take and version and, camera angle. Ugh. I was
got to keep licking all of that foundation off. It'd be funny if the more she licked, the darker it got underneath his face, and I realized Max has been black this whole time.
Reveal.
He's just been doing Jewish face.
Oh man, in a power move, man, Abby moves in with Schmidt. Have you seen a couple like this before, like a hyper PDA couple?
Yeah. 100%. I see it all the time in public. You know what I mean? And it's gross, but I get it.
It's gross. It's true. It kind of is. I don't know why. It should be
gross.
sweet. They're being affectionate.
Yeah, and I don't know if that lasts very long. It could, and I shouldn't hate on people who want to do that to each other's faces. It's just that, yeah, I'm not a germaphobe or anything, but like, if you let me lick your face, how many people you let lick that face over the past?
Sure. The big questions. Big questions.
A lot of tongues on that cheek. You know what I'm saying? So stupid. Oh gosh.
And that's Sister 3. See you guys next week.
Yeah. No, it's just interesting because it's not just about the PDA. I can understand why CC later on is investigating this because it's a lot. Like he's giving her money for these supplies and she's making really terrible jewelry. Awful
jewelry. Like it almost seems like she's doing like an idiot check on him.
Yeah.
That it's so bad.
It's so bad to the point where it's literally like causing him to bleed out. Like he's bleeding.
That's true.
Like throughout I just remember seeing throughout that scene, they just kept having to make the stain bigger. It's like even bigger.
Grow
and even
the
bigger.
stain.
Yeah. Yeah. So so already I could get why we'd be on to Abby. And it makes sense.
Sus. But what's happening with Jess, she's not suspicious. She's feeling insecure.
Yes.
Because she's like, they look like this hot, sexy, amazing, passionate couple. And the choices that Jake Johnson made in eating that pancake or waffle or whatever the hell was so funny. Also, I so hard relate. I don't want people, I don't like it. You know, people are like, oh, can I have a fry? I'm like, get your own fries.
Yeah, you have options. There's some for everybody.
Like order a side right now. Like leave me alone. I'm so Nick Miller in that moment. I was like, just back up.
To be fair, that's not Nick Miller. That's Jake Johnson.
That's also a fact. I also realized I was like, oh, he's just decided to be himself in this episode.
Yeah, that's how he eats. I've been out to lunch with him a couple of times, and it's shady business when he sits down to eat.
Just a shovel.
It's not something you want to be around. We have to ask for the private room when we go and eat. Just because people don't, like, he doesn't want people to know how much of a scavenger he is for a pancake.
Is this part of your podcast wars? Are you trying to like embed the mess around in the podcast wars? Because listen,
no,
I got no beef. I got no beef with Jake.
No, I got no beef with Jake. I mean, is he a slob when he eats? Yeah. Do you remember that? Listen, I'm not going to get into it, but I am going to just say, he's a monster in restaurants. So like if the fans are out there, you see him eating, please don't bother him. He'll slur you. He'll say something when he's eating. It's not him. Just let him be.
It's so kind of you.
He's a slurrer.
You're a good friend.
Yeah.
You're a good friend.
Yeah.
So Jess is feeling super insecure and she says they now need to move in together. Mm-hmm. That living together and moving in together is a big difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of understood. There is a big difference between we're roommates and we live with other people and then we live together. She's not wrong. That is a big step in a relationship.
I mean, well, that's...
In their situation, it's a bit ridiculous, but...
Well, I mean, the reason why I say that is because typically if you live with someone, then you live with someone. It's just you two. But if you have roommates, that's a little different. You know, because you're already living together. Like, who has a separate bedroom? It's not the 50s or whatever. People used to sleep in different bedrooms. They have. It's. I don't see this. My point is, I don't see the weirdness in it because you already live together. The only difference now is you're sleeping in the same bed, which you normally do. Like, are they intimate with each other, and then she gets up and goes to her room, or vice versa?
This was the question I had when they do that. The funniest reveal ever in this episode of him with his like nightgown or whatever, the long shirt,
which is, again, you know how we say on this show, they pick and choose some of the real stuff that happens in our life. Mm-hmm. The night shirt, that's something that Jake actually wears. Because his wife would talk to Liz. They're really close, so they would have private conversations, and she would say she'd be concerned about Jake wearing a night shirt
I
It's
cannot
really a
co-sign
nightgown.
this. I can't co-sign
I can't.
this.
I can co-sign it.
You can
because-
float it though. You can float it.
Yeah, I can co-sign it.
Yeah.
That nightshirt thing. He really wears that. He's embarrassed about his body.
This is the question I had, which was, what's actually happening? That, like, yeah, are they just sleeping together and then like not falling asleep together and waking up together? Because that does feel weird.
Yeah.
I was like, if that's what we're learning in this episode, she's not wrong. Like,
Yeah.
you guys need to learn how to get undressed, get dressed, get into bed together, kick
Yeah.
it, do your thing, and then fall asleep and wake
Yeah.
up together. That step should be
100%.
taken in this relationship. That felt
Yeah.
strange, but I don't think that was what the point of this episode was. It was just the way it came together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But again, I just want to reiterate. That's how Jake actually is. So,
Also, that he's like never changed in front of a woman is also
yeah, that's
crazy.
strange. That's strange. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, when you're naked, you're usually powerful and it's glorious. But when you change your clothes, you're hunched over and you're cowering like an animal.
It made me think of that Seinfeld. Wasn't there like a Seinfeld episode about like a girlfriend that was like naked all the time?
I don't know. It's
But
not
then
my
there's
show.
like a bicycle like in the apartment that she goes to change and she's like hunched over, like wrenching like something on the bike and she's coughing and Jerry's just like, oh.
I don't know. I never watched Seinfeld.
Never?
Never. Seinfeld, no Friends. I've seen clips and I know what the show is. And I heard it's pretty funny, but I've never like sat there and watched
It's a good one.
Seinfeld.
I'm a big fan. I've marathoned Seinfeld a few times. I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Okay. Let's go to a break. When we come back, we're going to keep diving into this episode. And we're back from that break. So now let's keep diving into this episode.
What a segue. What a segue.
I mean, there should be an award for Segway masters.
Yeah,
Like the
they
people
should,
who've like conquered the Segway ability. That's me. No one's better. Ad break.
Ad break.
And we're black. Okay, so here's what I love about this, and we never like expanded on this. The coach and Cece relationship.
Oh, they found their groove. They
It's
finally
so
found what
funny.
their dynamic is, which is sisters.
Yes, that's exactly what I was like. Damon. So Damon, his family, they're notorious for really playing hilarious women. And
True.
And I mean, the way I laughed a lot in you guys'
But don't you feel like, just like you were saying, how like Jake wasn't really acting the way he was eating?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you feel like Damon wasn't really acting when he was
No.
doing our dynamic? I was like, this is just Damon getting to go full Damon.
When he
And
goes,
just
"Let's
getting to
bust
be
her,
himself.
Buster."
That's also, I've tried to explain this so many times, my natural dynamic with Damon in our friendship. Once again, forgot that there's this episode that exists that shows the natural dynamic of our relationship. And he
Yeah.
is. It's not like brother sister. It is more like sister sister.
Yeah, and it's funny.
It's
You
so funny.
yeah, and I'm like, is this the only episode that we see this dynamic, or do we carry this
I
duo
don't know. I
out
guess
for a
we'll
while?
find out as we keep watching it. But I remember shooting this episode because it was so fun because we could just be ourselves.
Yeah,
Like Hannah and Damon and the CC coach dynamic just did that full inception overlap. And we could be ourselves and improv and yes and each other to death. And it was the most fun to shoot. Like the chemistry was alive because that's the real dynamic. That's the truth of our relationship.
oh yeah.
He's so funny. He's so funny in these scenes.
So you guys get together, and Cece asks Coach if she can help him, sneak into Schmidt's apartment so she can figure out what the hell's going on with Abby. She needs to find some dirt, and they're doing a mess around right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was funny. And they're going through the trash. They're going through this. They're going through that, and immediately busted. Now, what I found funny about this scene is the fact that Schmidt organizes his trash.
Honestly, when he was like, the coffee grounds go in a Ziploc bag to keep my trash clean, I was like, this is probably based on truth.
Yeah, I mean, well, I could see why you wouldn't want like a sloppy trash can, because you're trying to take the trash out and the soot and stuff gets everywhere, and it might be a little bit, especially things with an odor. You know, you want
It's
to
very
wrap it up.
smart. He's smart. You know, I will say this. I remember my stepmom used to, like, if it was like leftover, meat or something, whatever, instead of throwing it in the garbage, which sits overnight or you're going to take it out, she would put it in a bag, tie it up, and keep it in the freezer until the morning where she would take it out and throw it away. Because it was then odorless.
Oh, that's
garbage
pretty smart.
hack.
You know what Alicia did? You know my sister Alicia.
Yeah.
What she did is she came to my house once and cooked fish.
Oh.
I wasn't there. She made it for her and a friend that was there. I come home. All the dishes are clean. She put away all the dishes. Place is great, but it reeks. Smells of like rotting fish. And I was like, what the hell is going on? She took the wrappings and the paper that the container, the fish was in, and just left it in the bag, open. And then when I asked her about it, she goes, do men shit. Take the trash out. I'm not taking that out. I said, I didn't cook. You cooked for yourself. You cooked for yourself, left the trash, and then tell me it was my fault?
That's amazing. What a response.
Yeah, do men shit.
Do men shit. Well, look, if she rolled like Schmidt, you would not have that problem because she would have just bagged it up, wrapped it up.
We need more women. We need more women like Schmidt.
This is what we're learning. We need more women like Damon, like Coach, like right. Coach and Schmidt.
Liz she knows how to create a woman.
Also, by the way Max chose to come in and just scream treachery was one of the funniest. Like no one could get away with it like he can. It was so funny.
And I love how, immediately once your words actually affected him. You just said, you should think about it. And he's like, yeah. I love Coach going, it's funny, your words. He's like, look at her words affecting how you feel. Like,
say it out loud. Say the quiet parts out loud.
Mm-hmm.
So funny. What a scene.
Yeah. Now let's go back to this long shirt again, which is,
oh, man.
It's a real thing. And they're in their bedroom. They're trying to figure it out. He has all his insecurities for obvious reasons. And that
moment, do you know what moment I'm talking about? The most disgusting moment on New Girl history?
His feet.
The feet.
That's gross. Oh. And then he puts it right by where he lays his head normally.
I know. Honestly, I was like, I genuinely was like had to like turn my head. I was like, wait, what?
My question for someone like him or that character, well, that's Jake too, to be honest. But I see people all the time that are like out and about. Like real story. I went hiking with Jake recently. There was a woman hiking up the mountain barefoot, right? The Griffith hike, the Griffith Trail. She up there barefoot. And I see this all the time at the airport, people walking around barefoot. My question is, do you actually take the time when you get home to wash your feet?
No,
I'm curious.
They don't. I truly believe that people don't. It's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's so gross. And here was my thing, because I was thinking about how in the previous episode, you had you had a foot double too, and like popping your feet up into screen. I was like, because there's a lot of people that have interesting relationships with feet. And I wondered, I was like, are those Jake's feet?
Ooh.
Are those his real feet that he wanted bare and dirty out there? Like, did they have to like mess, you know what I mean? Like use makeup and like make them look gross? Or did they get like stunt feet? Like, is it Casey's feet or something?
No, I'll tell you exactly what it was. I remember this day. They were like, it was a last minute bit. They were shooting the scene and it was a last minute bit. And they said, what would be funny is if Jake turned around and his feet were dirty. And so all he did was turn around and take his socks off, and that's what his feet looked like.
No.
Yeah.
No.
These are to the New Girl fans out there. I only come on this show and speak truth to you.
Oh no! See, now I know it's a lie, but that's so funny to float it out there.
Dirty
inside your socks, you have nasty feet. That's a real commitment to the nasty feet.
Yeah. Imagine what his socks
I love though. By the way, this is like the magic of New Girl to me. Sometimes is like that truly is so relatable and a 10 out of 10 disgusting. They didn't have to go crazy, make a really wild bit. It was just like you wearing this weird nightgown and you have dirty feet. And then that's it. I'm out. As a girl, I'm out. I can't do it. Won't do it. I got to figure out a solution. And thankfully her sister, like, you know, gives her a little gift by telling her of an available hotel room.
That's right. That's right.
Jess is like, is it passed? She wanted to go back into her own room and see if she could figure it out. But Winston had taken it over with a very aggressive, crabby workout routine.
Well, here's the thing. Winston is trying to get healthy. He's trying to get in shape for the LAPD entrance exam, well, the fitness part. And so I remember this too. That was a very fun day shooting. Just getting to be silly while working out. If anybody knows me, they know that I am highly trained, highly skilled in the gym. Some would say, as far as actors go, one of the greats. So it was good to play in that moment and just be silly in a makeshift gym. And the new girl, like again, Camilla crushed it. I was able to play and look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Really showed your range.
Yeah,
showed your range.
Crab walk? What? That's fun. Let's keep doing that.
But then they did the flashback of like when Winnie gets pants. I was surprised when he went like Miller. And then like they're like he giggles. And I was like, that's the meanest thing I've ever seen. He was like your bully.
We didn't think of it that way when we were kids.
That's what I realized. I was watching and I was like, oh, I'm just like an old lady now. Where I'm just like, oh no, that's so mean. Yeah. But like your best friend would for sure do that to you. And you'd all giggle about it later.
Yeah, it was strange. It was a strange time back then because it happened to me.
No, you really got pants in your life?
Yeah. When I was a kid. Are you kidding me?
By playing friends?
Yes, you're playing basketball and you're running. All of a sudden, your boy just rips your pants down. You just run from the 3-point line to the free throw line, balls out. You know, and then
get out of like the underpants too?
Yeah, the whole thing. Caused the whole blackout in the gym. Whole gym got dark. Whole gym. Like, did the lights go out? Nah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And what did the coach do? Didn't the coach then be like?
No, they thought it's like kids growing up. Like as opposed to like scolding the kid who did it. It's like, well, Lamorne, what are you gonna do in return? Toughen up, or you know, plot your revenge.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I love plotting revenge.
Sure, me too.
I love revenge. Yeah. It's so good.
You know what my favorite feeling is? I've said this before.
What?
Justified rage.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. So like, yeah, you pantsed me. Now whatever I do to you, I can enjoy plotting because you deserve it. You asked for it. Love it. Love some justified rage.
100%.
Down for it. All right. So his ding-a-ling was out. He's now trying to train. He's got to do the rings, I guess, as part of his entrance fitness exam, which feels very old school, but okay.
Yeah, it's like, when are you going to be running from a crook or chasing a bad guy? And all of a sudden you're like, I got to get across these rings.
Vault, pommel horse, rings. You're arrested.
No, that's crazy. Hit his ass with a taser.
You also have like a full gun.
I know. So you know. It's like, but I got to do this first. And as a cop, you're worried someone's going to de-pants you. Like that's crazy.
Oh, Winnie the Bish being Winnie the Bish.
My nightstick is out. Okay. Yeah. So Nick is complaining to Winston about this. He said that she turned his desk into an arts and crafts nook, which makes sense. Fun fact about Zoe, she has an arts and crafts nook in her home. Sure. She makes everything by hand. She genuinely loves creating things with her own hands. Yeah.
I remember having to like tie a bow in one scene, and I just like tied it, and Zoe was just like, that's not how you tie a bow. And she was very right. And she tied it and looked like this perfect, beautiful, the flounce was there, the two little tails made sense. Mine looked like a, you know, I don't know. You did it in the dark backwards.
Oh, 100%.
So she has that skill for sure.
So she can tie a bow. I wonder if she can fold a shirt too. Because that's a technique. When people know how to fold, you ever go to the store and the shirts are looking real crisp?
I know.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
Man.
No, I just flap the arms in and then you just kind of.
I just throw it in a pile. Smell
the
it
chair.
before I put it on. Yeah,
Put it on the
everybody's
chair.
got the chair.
Everybody's got the chair.
I got the couch now. Little couches.
That's what the Emmy did for you. You moved from the chair to the couch.
Well, I upgraded my resting spot for my jeans.
You're not dirty, but you're not clean. Okay, can we get to the hotel? Can we just jump for a second to this hotel? I think we're almost there.
Yeah. So let's just, but really quick.
Okay. I'm so
They
excited
go
to
and
talk about the hotel.
That's right. They go and they spy on Abby. They convince Schmidt.
Oh man.
So now they're out there. My favorite line of that moment is when Coach goes, "Let's bust her, Buster." That's pretty good.
I like how also Schmidt is constantly going like, whatever this is, I hate it. This dynamic I hate. The fact that you guys get each other now so much. You know what the relationship is and vibe. I hate it so much. I will also say shout out to hair and makeup because I was watching it and I was like, man, they really turned out my look for the heist. Really committed. I did a movie a couple seasons later. I did a movie that Taron Killam wrote with that crew, and I got to be a assassin. Schwarzenegger's in it, an assassin, and it reminded me actually of that look. I was like, oh, I did it before. So yeah, shout out to hair and makeup, y'all. They look real cute. And wardrobe, I like that Cece was like, I have an outfit, I have a look to go and to sit there and crush my ex's new girlfriend.
Oh my God! And in your car, which you two fight over because he's trying to leave. Yes. And you want to stay. And in typical TV fashion, you do the irresponsible thing and fight over the wheel. Yes. In which you bump into a car.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like everybody would know that was going to happen. You can't have two people yanking on a wheel with the foot on the pedal. What is going on?
It happened to me when I was a kid. I was in the back
For real?
In the backseat of a car. My aunt was driving and her friend was in the front seat. And my aunt I think she was like about to merge or something. And her friend saw another car coming. So she yanked the wheel. But she yanked it, we flew off the ramp and hit another car or something like that. I forget what happened, but it was pretty brutal. Got pretty banged up back there.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Those were the days.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Thank God for self-driving cars now because...
Yeah, now the world's such a better place.
You know what mine did today? Mine, I saw that my rearview mirror was getting close. I parked in a tight spot, but I got in the spot, so I know I can get out of the spot. Sure. As I'm backing up, I'm like, oh, it's a little close. Let me stop, turn the wheel, and start adjusting. So I'm trying not to hit the car to the right side. A guy parked close to me. Yeah. As I put my foot on the brake, it does an additional like bolt backwards and goes. Phew. It just moves on its own and smashes my rear view.
Oh no!
This happened today.
Oh no!
I was like, my foot's on the brake.
I did not do this.
I was like, what the hell just happened? Yeah. So Elon, we gotta talk, bro.
There's a list. Talk, bro. You got a whole bunch of things you'd like to talk about. Number one, though, is my car parking situation. Do you have 5 minutes?
Yeah. Let's clean up the waste at Tesla. We gotta fix that, bro.
All right, so they get into a car accident. They're all kerfuffled.
They are. But then Abby comes out of the building. You know, they're a little worried because there's like, you know, what Schmidt calls hobos and we call unhoused folks. And, you know, you and Schmidt together calling people hobos, I thought was ridiculous.
Did not age well. Hannah
improvising hobos.
As scripted. Show the receipts.
and Abby comes out, and to you guys' surprise, she actually has a box of zippers. Yeah. Which
this guy really likes zippers and meth, isn't that what you
crack.
Said? Oh,
he
crack.
really likes crack. Yes. The best deal on zippers, and he really likes crack. But then you turn around and your car is stolen.
Stolen, yeah.
If you're unhoused and you steal somebody's car, it should after that point be okay for me to call you a hobo
because of the theft.
Because you stole it. I can't be like theft. I gotta respect you. You know, nah, you stole it. You're a hobo. Old school. Stick with a bindle. So when this one is weird, we go to the beach. That was Santa Monica. The rings. They have these famous rings in Santa Monica, and Winston is training on the rings, and the little boy walks up.
Oh my gosh! This moment,
and he starts yelling at the little boy because he's having a weird moment where he's like, you know, he's scarred from his childhood and he thinks this little boy is going to depants him.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, as he's on the rings, why is this little boy walking up to him?
I don't know. It is a weird sight. There's nobody else at this beach.
Yeah. And just a little boy.
Where's his parents? You just all by yourself walking up to a man just hanging and dangling on the rings.
Was he looking for candy? What's going on?
I don't know. The whole thing felt a bit strange. There need to be more people and more reason to what was happening.
Yeah.
But you played the fear well, because I had a moment where I was like, this kid's going to yank this guy's pants down for sure.
Yeah, like what else is he doing there?
I don't know.
But I love that Winston went and told on him. He said, you guys got to fix this truancy situation.
Wait, but this is what I'm saying. I think we've missed just going to the hotel.
We did?
Because that's when they see each other, right? When he sees Jess. So can we talk about it? Because it's my favorite thing in the world. I remember watching this scene. It's funny. I don't remember a lot about this episode, but I remember watching this scene when it aired. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I feel like human can relate to the freedom of being like either home all by yourself or in a hotel room all by yourself. There's something great about a hotel room though, because you know, the room service and all the things. It was such like a great montage of all the things you'll do. A good cry. Everybody needs a good cry. Yeah, a wild room, like a room service order. Just a wild one. Just one cookie.
What's your wild room service order? A cookie?
I always get a burger and fries.
Yeah.
But then I'll be like, and a side of spaghetti.
A side of spaghetti?
But like, do you have spaghetti? I have spaghetti. It's like I'm going to like a little like black hole where I'm like, nothing matters. It doesn't matter. Nothing counts. Yeah. I can do whatever I want.
Huh. Yeah.
I remember going for a work thing for New Girl, and I was in New York, and I stayed at some hotel, and it was like Gordon Ramsay was the one who like, it was like his restaurant. And I was like, oh, I'll have the burger and fries. And they sent up the burger and fries. And it was something like $69 or something crazy for a burger and fries. I was like, what?
That's Gordon Ramsay.
And it was okay.
The man drives a $2 million car.
For sure. Off burgers and fries and room service at this hotel. I was like, damn, I should look at how much these burgers cost.
Oh, we should try my burgers. And my brisket is world famous. World famous brisket. Everyone's talking about it.
I love that montage. Anyway, I just want to say it out loud. I loved it. I loved watching it. It was like all the wonderful things, all the ups and downs, the roller coaster, the freedom she felt that she has lost now that Nick and his dirty feet are in her room.
Dirty ass feet.
I loved it. But then, yeah, she gets caught.
That's right.
By
a future cop. Yeah, that's
by a future cop. It's true.
If you don't get caught, you do not want to get caught by an officer of the law. Because their job is to uphold it. So he couldn't keep that secret in.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a cop yet, but yes.
But he's playing the part. You know what I mean? You gotta dress for success.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gotta dress for the part that you want to have.
Right.
So she got busted by the wrong person. So there are two people on the show who can't keep a secret. Nick and Winston.
Yeah. The reveal that you do to Nick about the truth of where Jess is so funny. And the fact that you're like, now I feel so much better. After you just like fully betrayed your friend is hysterical. 100%.
And another moment that is really funny when Nick is putting his Garbage Pail Kids cards into a box.
I love the Garbage Pail Kids back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Fun fact. And I just found this out not too long ago about the Garbage Pail Kids. There's one of them, I forget his name, but he has very snotty nose. I think a lot of them have snotty nose. This one has like a really snotty nose. Real ugly face. That one was, so when Jake was a kid, he modeled for Garbage Pail Kids. And they made a card. That's why they put it in here, so Jake can get residuals from his card. Royalties and stuff.
You are really, we're in it now, huh? This is going to be a 3-way war?
It's just a fact. I don't do the whole fake stuff.
For sure.
I don't do that fake. This ain't Kendrick and Drake. That's all fake. This is real.
Do you think this is real? Fake?
Yeah, I know it's fake. I spoke to Kendrick the other day, and he was like, "Oh, this is just for money." I was like, "Oh, cool." I spoke to Drake, and he was like, "I'm not a pedophile." And I was like, "I know. I hope." And then he was like, "Yeah." He's like, but I got paid. So Kendrick allegedly paid Drake $100 million to do that. Call him a pedophile.
This would be amazing if this somehow just takes its own life on Reddit. You know how things get like pulled out of full context and then it becomes legitimized just by repetition? You're about to just embed yourself in so many wars right now.
Oh, gosh. No, I think it's a real beef. I know it's a real beef. But
it's real.
Yeah.
It's real is messy.
Anyway.
So Cece, let's talk about Cece for a sec, because her sister coach basically said, like, what's really going on?
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like you got some feelings going on for Schmidt, and you should talk about it because it's coming out in weird ways, girl. And that's what they did. She went and talked to him. It's a very sweet scene. I think I remember shooting that scene. It's always nice when it was just Max and myself sometimes, and it got to be like, it wasn't like a big joke scene. You could just sit there and like sit in the feeling and the emotion of the thing. Those were always nice days. And they had like a real sweet moment. And then he gives her a cough drop bracelet.
Which we've all had before.
I got to give it to her for her like inventive nature. I've never seen one of those before. Even if it's hideous, there would be a market because people like things that are weird.
No, I mean, you got those candy bracelets that people used to have.
Oh, they were delicious. The necklaces, remember those?
Yeah, just that's not any with health benefits like the one she gave.
That's right.
Soothe the throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of moments here.
Oh wait, can I say one more thing that was so funny and so great, and also such a smart moment, and I've never seen it in a show before. Again, New Girl magic. Was then so Nick knows that Jess was lying about the hotel, and then thinks he's gonna catch her.
Yeah,
and she does the most amazing job with her story, and it's the greatest. Where he's like, "How are you this good at lying?" And it's so great because it's those things. There's so much formula in comedy, so much formula. So you think, okay, now he knows the truth. He's gonna catch her. She's going to say something funny, or there's going to be a joke in her, like, because he tries to catch her in the lie, right? Like, what was your room number? What floor were you on? Doing like those things to like triple check a lie. And most people can't do it. And it's so funny that they didn't go for the formula. They didn't do the easy catch, the easy joke. And it's just smarter and better. I was like, man, that was such a beautiful end to it. And so like in the New Girl world of how they would write their jokes.
Oh yeah, I love how you tried to get her caught up on the floor. It's like, what room are you in? 523. What floor is that? It's like 5. So when you walk up to the 4th floor, it's 5th floor.
Yes, but it's so smart.
Yeah.
I don't know any man who could lie that fast, by the way.
Yeah, but then Winston reveals Nick's secret immediately afterwards, and he goes, well, Nick's miserable too.
True.
And it forces them to look inside of each other. They've been inside of each other, but they've never looked inside of each other, you know? And they have a moment, and they figure things out. You know, Jess and Abby, they're having their big moment. Heart to heart? Big heart to heart. Jess tells Abby, you know, that she actually just went to the hotel by herself. And, you know, and that Abby's she travels all over the world and takes lovers and all this stuff, and they're letting each other know that the grass is not always greener on the other side, which it's not. Because I've been all over the world, and I've taken lovers all over the world, but there's nothing like settling down at home with dirty feet in a long shirt.
Is this just based on you? Was this the Lamorne story? Was this the Lamorne episode?
I mean, a lot of it's. I mean, me and Camilla were pretty close, so she probably took from my life.
I think what's interesting, I feel like the big like goal they had in this episode was how did they get Schmidt back in the loft? You know, it's one of those, it was a weird season. A lot of things happened all over the place. And I think they realized they need that dynamic of them all living together. That was the core of the show. That's what people love to see on the show. And having Schmidt out of the loft for this long, it was fine. It was interesting, but it wasn't the funniest version of how stories can go. And so they had to figure out how to get him back in. And I thought it was interesting and sweet how they chose to do it, which is Abby leaves them because she's had this like, you know, light bulb moment with her sister that she needs to kind of take a minute for herself and be alone and see what she wants. And Schmidt is now broke and can't afford his solo apartment anymore because he did lease her a storefront for 3 years or something insane. Yes. And they took all the cash up front or something. And he is now broke and needs to come back into his room, which leaves everybody back together, which is what I think they needed to do.
Back in the loft. Back in the loft, where they all belong. So that's it. That's it for that episode. Let's go to a quick break. When we come back, I feel like messing around a little bit.
Let's go.
Babe.
Yeah, babe.
You got any crazy moving stories?
Oh my God. I feel like all my moving stories were crazy.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm a procrastinator by nature. So on like every single level, like the decision to like move countries, I would make it like, a week before.
Oh.
And then I'd have a whole apartment or something to pack up and figure out. It was always frenzied. It was always out of control. What?
It's because you're rich.
No, this is when I was very broke. And I'll never forget. Also, I felt like I was broke and always like a little clueless.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd be like, I got to move. And then people would show up and friends would come up and they'd move and everything. And I remember one friend, by the way, I love people who are like, have like bold-faced honesty.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. You can't offend me. If you're telling the truth, you cannot offend me. I love it so much. And I remember my friend, he was like, you gotta like order some pizza and go to the corner and like get some beer for everybody. I was like, why? He's like, because that's like what you do when like people come and your friends come and help pack up your apartment so you can move, Hannah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, all right. I've never done it before. And I was like, no one ever asked me.
I thought they did it because I'm pretty.
Well, I'm sure that's why they were doing it at the time. But I honestly didn't know. And it's not like I was going and moving people's apartments. I hadn't seen the protocol with my own two eyeballs. I didn't know. All of these guys would show up and help me move my apartment. And I was like, oh, nice. All right. And then I'll never forget one friend, gay. So I think maybe that's where he was just sort of like, I need to talk to you right now because I'm here for the view. These are very handsome men that are helping you move your apartment. You should feed them and you should give them something to drink and you should pay for it. And I was like, oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, I had a lot of crazy moving stories over the years, moving different countries, different places, last minute. But it always excited me. I have zero fear of change or moving to a new country or diving into a new world. So it was always exciting. And I didn't mind the panic around it. I loved it.
Yeah, I don't have
You
any...
move a lot. I feel like you've moved a million times since I've known you.
Yeah, I used to move every year. I used to literally switch apartments every year. I never stayed in an apartment longer than a year. And it was a couple things. One, when I was initially doing it, I was downsizing or trying to figure, because I was going broke. So I was trying to figure out ways to afford the place so I would spend less money on the apartments. Then I started making more money when I started doing a ton of commercials and I got myself out of debt and all this stuff. And I started, upgrading my places. And every year, a benchmark, when they would raise the rent, I would go, if you're going to raise the rent for this place, I'm just going to get a better place.
That's smart.
And I would keep doing that.
Yeah, why pay more for the same? That's very smart.
Yeah. So I started owning, and moving was, I knew that rule already. My friends would help me move and I would just cover food and stuff like that. And my moves were only crazy because just like you, I was a procrastinator. And initially I wouldn't have movers. I would just kind of put stuff in bags and then just toss it in a car and then like get to the new apartment and have it all over the floor. It'll take a good month before I organized everything.
I do remember once moving across campus at UBC in Vancouver, holding a fish tank with my fish in it. It was a big tank. And like the sunroof being open and like a tree like out of it. Like every cliche of like a university move. Like could have taken the fish out and just put him in like a little jar for like the 5-minute drive. Could have emptied out the tank. What are we doing?
That's the only reason why I never went to a big university. Wait, what am I going to do with my fish?
What am I going to do with my fish?
That's why I didn't
Tell me. I got wet. I got like a fish water wet. It was not worth it. It was a mistake. Okay. What's the biggest adjustment you've had to make while living with a partner?
For me, it was, because I only lived with a partner for about 6 months. And I moved in with her. I was on New Girl and I had sold my house, but I hadn't found another place yet. So while I was looking for another house, she was just like, I'll stay with you. So I stayed with her. And the biggest adjustment, it's like I live, I have, I don't have a significant other right now that I share a space with.
Mm.
So I can be as dirty as I want, as clean as I want, and my place is pretty clean.
Mm.
But like, if I eat something and I put a dish in the sink, I know that it's mine. I did it, and I'll come clean it tomorrow.
Sure.
And every other week, cleaning lady comes and she, does her thing, but I keep it generally fairly clean. But if I leave my underwear on the floor in the bathroom, they're going to stay there until I pick them up.
Sure.
I learned quickly, you can't do that when you stay with somebody else.
Sure.
I can't just leave my dirty drawers on her floor in her bathroom. You know what I mean? So I had to learn quickly that, someone's letting you stay with them. You should probably like immediately clean up after yourself. So, because you're sharing that space, things like make the bed often. I was like, I'll make it after I get home. Like, I don't care.
I'm not a bed maker. I just would like to say this out loud. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the person who like gets out of bed, whatever these like 100 habits of a successful CEO. Make your bed every morning. Start your day right. And I know some people that works for them. So happy for you. So happy for you. Not for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Get out of my bed. Then I dive back in and pull the covers on, and I'm sitting there being like, it's not made. No, crazy. I will say socks on the floor within inches of a laundry basket make me lose my mind.
Yeah.
That does make me lose. Why? It makes me crazy. I'm like, just put them there. It's the one touch rule, which I've learned is like a real thing, which is like, if let's say you bring a package in, like open it and then put it where it's supposed to go, whatever the thing is inside the package, as opposed to like leaving the box there. Then the next day, like opening it up, taking it out of the box is still there. Now it's just next to the box. Then the one touch rule makes so much sense to me, which is like, if you take your socks off, just put them in the laundry basket. Why the floor, then the laundry basket? Why?
Well, for me, and I think probably for most men, what we do with our socks is we ball them up and we try to go. And we're not as good as we think we are, so we miss often. And you don't want to go and pick it up after that. You're like, I don't get my own rebounds. You know what I mean? So
you're like, call Rodman.
Yeah, call Dennis. Hey, can you get in here and clean these socks up? Jumping a little flat
your department, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can guy friends be like sisters? Yes.
What does that mean? Can guy friends be
yes.
like sisters? What does that mean? Can guy friends be like
There's
sisters?
a different dynamic between sisters than there is between a sister and a brother and then two brothers.
So you're saying, can a guy and a girl be like sisters?
Yeah. Can your guy friend be like more like a sister to you
I see.
than a brother to you? Yes.
Why call it a sister? Why not just call it a friend?
Because it's a different energetic feeling
that
of a sisterhood versus then like a brotherhood. I mean, I do feel like what you're saying is actually like it. I've never understood like the urge that people have to categorize and label everything. You're my friend. This is our dynamic. That's my friend. That's our dynamic. It's different. I get it. So yes, you don't have to call them. He's like a sister. They might not like it, but it might feel that way to you. That way feels good.
Yeah. The moment he starts talking about his period, that's when you start to go, oh.
That's a Winnie the Bish situation.
Yeah. See, Winnie is different. Winston can be like a sister. The man had sympathy PMS.
That's right. He's on the cycle.
You know what I mean? He's on a cycle. Well, that answers that question. Glad we could solve all the burning questions for the fans out there and answer some of these things that have been on your mind, like, can guy friends be like sisters?
It's called Sister. I mean, this is the name of the episode. We had to go there.
Sister 3. Well, that's it, folks. That is the end of this episode. Really funny. A lot of cool moments from this one. Thank you for listening, Hannah. What a shirt you're wearing. Can you tell the fans out there where they can find it?
I've been sitting here watching as we record this, and a lot of people watch this on the YouTube or on our IG, the Mess Around Pod. They watch the clips. Is that I'm the worst model.
Because your hair is covering the shirt.
For our line that we designed of merch, because I've got this very Indian hair, this long, thick hair to cover The shirt. So if I do this, does this help? Is this what professional models do? Is this like,
Yes.
is this what they do?
100%. 100%. Hannah, you are a professional model, so why are you acting like you don't know?
Just wear your hair like a scarf.
If I had hair like that, I probably would. I'd probably wear it in a ponytail the whole time. Yeah.
Okay. I'm really mature right now. Okay, you guys, this is the shirt. It's so cute. It's so great. We made it for you. Love letter to you. Check it out at themessaroundpod.com. Don't forget to email us at themessaroundpod@gmail.com. Any questions you have, thoughts about your guy friends that are like your sister more than your brother. We want to know, and we will be back next week with episode 319.
Fire it up. Peace, y'all.
That was The Mess Around, an iHeartMedia production.
Our executive producer is Joelle Monique. Our senior producer is Abu Zafar. Bei Wang provided engineering and editing services.
Additional production from Daniel Goodman, Wendy Heisler, and Kyle Chevron. Our theme song was written and composed by Ronald Jukebox Jackson.
Catch you next time.
Bye.